What's going on, guilty guys and gals? Welcome back to Danganronpa Redemption. Well, lucky for you all, my Deltarune video is taking longer. I got the script all finished, now I just gotta, edit it, and... So instead, we're just gonna do this, which is much easier to edit, because it's just, 3 things, maybe. Anyway, I didn't even realize I was screaming until I heard footsteps coming my way. Oh my gosh, I forgot to turn it down. That was very loud in my ears. Katie, what was that? Ah! Okay, sure. Holy shit! No! You're telling me, Leon. Have the sprites gotten higher definition? Or is it just because I haven't seen it in a little bit and I'm used to the old Danganronpa 1 sprites? I don't know. Maybe my brain's just not working. Jiro! Can't believe you guys are still around.
Leon, Ibuki, and Mondo all burst into the room, and as soon as they did...
Wow, we all know what this is. Ding dong, ding ding.
Ahem! A body has been discovered. Same as always, investigation then trial. A body discovery announcement. That means...
Jiro was murdered.
We all backed out of the kitchen and stood in the dining hall, too stunned to even react.
You better make sure those traps are disabled first.
A few minutes later, people started to arrive, one by one.
By the way, I was going to do this at the end of the last episode, but I forgot. So let's talk about traps as a motive now, alright? A lot of the motives in this game have been kill or die. You know what I mean? It's not something like, say, the money that was offered that made Celeste kill because she wanted a bunch of money. It's less so revealing something about the characters and more so, just kill already. Which is whatever. It's one of the reasons I don't like motives, because unless they're, completely baked into the characters, they can feel kind of like they're forcing people to kill. And if they're forcing people to kill, then, one, they're not really serving their purpose to, motivate the characters. They're literally forcing them instead of, preying on certain people's weaknesses. But if you make them too targeted to certain people, for example, Twilight Syndrome murder case, then they feel cheap as well. So you, really have to strike the perfect balance between these two things. And I feel like most of the time that's almost impossible. Especially, I think, in this case where these are characters we already know. So if the motive was oh, you get to... trying to think of something. Something that would specifically relate to one of the characters. I don't know. But you know what I mean? If they gave a motive like the Celeste money motive, we'd probably know who was going to take it, and it would feel targeted, even though it was just as general as that general motive. So, it's kind of a death if you do, death if you don't situation. Ha ha ha. And the traps just... they feel like the same thing as oh, and now we've got a time limit, and oh, now we've got the forbidden actions. It's this is just something that is forcing you to kill, essentially. So I'm not the hugest fan, but at least it's different. It's completely original. We'll see if they end up mattering, is the thing. Anyway, back to the actual thing.
A few minutes later, people started to arrive.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're telling me. That's exactly what I said to Leon. Oh dear. You're the prime suspect, right? It's kind of weird that you weren't here. Where's... Well, damn. Oh, am I going to have a friendship with Kibo now?
Yukichi looked around like he was counting each one of us. After a moment, I think it clicked.
Of course. Kokichi
let out these little giggles, but they were dark and made me shudder with how unstable they sounded.
Oh my! Would you like to step out for a moment, Kokichi?
Kokichi didn't answer, so Angie just escorted him out into the hall, and he was giggling the whole time.
Did you do this?
He's looking at Rantaro.
Mondo whirled around to face Rantaro, who stepped back with wide eyes.
No. What? No, I would never. Then who the fuck did?
Maybe it was a trap, Mondo. We don't know.
Mondo, we're trying to...
What are we trying to do? I don't know. Figure it out? Not really yet.
No, you don't get it. I promised I wouldn't let him get hurt this time. I promised. And now one of you, Mondo. What? I never break a promise! This is the worst thing to me. Don't Mondo me. You heard the fucking announcement. One of us killed him. But we gotta figure out who. Think, man. I was upset too, but if we don't investigate, we'll never avenge him. Ugh. Damn it. I hate it when you're right. Yeah, well. Yeah. I'm gonna kill you for being right. What? Alright, let's do this. I'm still fucking pissed, but I know Taka and Chihiro wouldn't want me to do anything rash. That's it, man.
I was still devastated, but it was nice. It was nice to see Leon step up and help Mondo. I guess he's learned to be pretty good at comforting after all.
Yeah, great. Yeah, like, Leon also looks a lot clearer than before. I might be imagining things.
Oh. I am also upset, despite the fact we have never shared screen time.
Kiba looked terrible, and my stomach dropped as I stepped over to him. Kibo, do you need to step out too?
With that giggling psychopath. No, thank you. No, I want to help.
Are you sure?
No. Yeah, I'm really going to miss Chihiro, but I know Miyu would want me to figure out who did this to him, and Chihiro would too.
Well, then you can investigate with me if you want.
Thank you, Ibuki.
Kibo and Ibuki slowly entered the kitchen, and I let out a deep sigh.
Well, Kaede, you can make a noise that deep? That's crazy.
I know what I have to do now, but we don't have time to waste. Rantaro, ready to investigate?
As I'll ever be. He's not getting anywhere near the crime scene. He's the killer.
This is a regular Danganronpa game. That's what's going on right now.
I guess we should start with the file.
Sounds good to me.
The victim is Chihiro Fujisaki, the ultimate programmer. The body was discovered in the kitchen on the first floor. The estimated time of death was 1:19 p.m. The body was discovered a few minutes later.
That's very specific.
The victim died from blood loss due to several stab wounds on their body. The stab delivered to the neck was the killing blow.
I wonder if they did fall to a trap and then got moved.
Oh, Chihiro.
Because who would have time to stab them, like, a bunch of times and then flee the scene in, like, a few minutes before we found them? And where would they go? Like, we were coming in that direction from the dorms, so, you know? And with the time of death being so specific, I have to think maybe they died a long time after getting, like, I don't know, we'll see.
We should probably look at the body next.
Right.
Like, they could have been stabbed a long time ago, but died from blood loss, like, right before we came in. That's what I'm thinking.
With a deep sigh, we entered the kitchen.
Guys, stop doing that, please.
As we bent down to examine Chihiro, I suddenly had a realization. I reached into Chihiro's pocket and felt around for something, and when I found it, I took it and held it in my palm.
Mew's key.
Mew's room key that Chihiro always had on him. Rentaro, do you think we should...
These kids are going to be traumatized.
Yeah, I think you'd want us to have it, instead of losing it forever.
I nodded, and I slipped the key into my backpack with a heavy heart. Jeez, that's a lot of blood.
In fact, it's like sprayed all over the wall, so what the hell happened?
Tell me about it. It's all over the wall and the floor.
This is definitely a setup then, right? Maybe.
Speaking of, why is it all on the wall like that?
I'm not sure. If I had to guess, it looks smeared.
Does it? I'm kidding.
Like Chihiro slid down the wall while bleeding, and ended up on the ground like that.
Ah, I see.
We'll see if that's true. That's like a lot of blood for a smear, though. I don't know.
All right, let's take a look at these wounds.
There's several of them in his chest and one over the neck.
I wonder, okay, maybe the neck one seems different, right? Like, the ones in the chest are patterned in such a way that they could have very well been from a trap. But the one across the neck seems intentional for sure.
Let's start with the chest ones.
Or, like, man-made. I don't know how I'm trying to say that, but...
Rentaro and I looked at the wounds, and after a moment, I spoke.
Cool.
Those look really deep.
Yeah, let me see something.
Carefully, Rentaro leaned Chihiro's body forward a little off the wall.
Did they go all the way through?
Whoa, they go all the way through him.
Got cheese grated. That's no good.
That's right.
Would the wasp trap do that? Because that's the one I was thinking of when I saw it. I don't think so, right? Maybe? Chihiro's a lot smaller than Gonta, so it's possible.
Alright, let's check the neck now.
Okay. Huh, that's strange.
What is?
The other wounds were mostly uniform all the way through, but this one was clearly done from the front.
Huh, you're right.
Neck wound. It gives me the feel of a certain case from Draw, where someone might have taken advantage of the situation, where Chihiro was bleeding out and they were like, okay.
Kaede, I have a request.
Yeah, Kibo?
Well, can you and Rantaro help Ibuki and I look for tape?
What?
Oh, I get it. You want to see if there were any traps marked in here.
Exactly.
We agreed and spent a good few minutes looking around the kitchen for tape, or any signs of it. Rentaro even checked thoroughly around the body.
I don't care about bodies.
Nothing.
Same here.
Or
The
the
complete opposite of what I said before.
Me neither. Not even any residue of it being taken off.
Lack of tape. I thought they said lock of tape for a second. I was like, oh, like a fine lock of my hair.
God, it's the exact same one, too.
The same knife, yeah.
Huh? The exact same what? I turned to Leon and Mondo, who were examining the knife by the body. There was blood on it, in a way that indicated it was probably used to stab Chihiro.
Ugh, back in our game. Let's just say someone else was stabbed with this same knife.
Didn't the knife go missing in this game, too? Am I forgetting that? I swear it did, and it was used in the Kaido Mukuro murder case. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
Knife. The kitchen knife from the kitchen. Sad.
But we know I didn't do it this time, right, Mondo? Huh?
Huh? What is he talking about, Mondo?
Leon's been with me since we, last saw Chihiro. When we all went to our rooms after breakfast, Leon came into my room and we hung out for a while. Then we, passed out. But about 20 minutes ago, Buki came to Mondo's room, asked to use his bathroom since hers wasn't working.
What?
But it turns out, Mondo's wasn't working either, so we tried mine and nothing.
That's weird, but I think I get it. Monokuma probably turned off their functions, right?
For what?
That's what we figured. I mean, it makes sense.
Does it? Why would he just randomly do that?
That bastard wanted us out of our rooms and in those halls to set off traps. It's a surefire way to get us to travel.
Oh, to go to the other bathrooms. I see.
Yeah, so what did you do?
We all went to those bathrooms in the school halls. Went as a group, that being safer and all. We were on our way back when we heard you scream and rushed on over here.
Mondo, can you vouch for all that?
Sure can.
I'm trying not to just do Leon's voice again.
Sure can.
Ibuki? Yep.
She did it! I knew she... Okay. I don't know. Sometimes I can just soul read Ibuki, I guess.
Yep. That's the truth. Alright. Thanks, guys. I'm sure this will help in the trial.
Leon's account.
Hey, isn't it my account, too?
And mine! Speaking of alibis, I guess I should collect everyone else's.
We've never done this before, but it seems like it'll be important this time.
Kibo, can you tell me what you were doing the past few hours?
Well, I was in my room for a bit, but then I got really worried about the motive and everything. I went to Chihiro's room, where he was in there all alone. I asked to use Miyu's key to see the... and he gave it to me. I hung out with them for a while, then gave the key to Chihiro in his room before returning to mine.
So when did you get back to your room?
I think it was around 12:45.
And on the way to the body discovery, did you see anyone else?
No. To tell you the truth, I waited a few moments before coming out of my room when the announcement played. I was just scared, Kaede. I did not want to know who it was, but I followed the sound of people talking and wound up here.
That is a little sus, but okay.
Hey, I understand. Alright. Thanks, Kibo.
Anytime, Kaede.
Rentaro and I stepped out into the dining hall, and I knew what I had to ask. Rentaro, where were you?
I was in the wait, no.
Rentaro, where were you between our talk in my room and now?
Let's see. After I left your room, I went to mine. I spent a good while thinking. After that, I decided to head to the storage room. I wanted to get some notebooks for our meeting later. I was looking for them when the announcement played.
I see. That makes sense. You were the first one here, since the storage room is closer to the dining hall in the dorms.
Exactly. I heard a commotion and followed the sound here. I realize it's not exactly a solid alibi, but it's the truth.
I see. Thank you, Rentaro.
I don't know why that sound is just working for me today, but it is.
Well, only one place left to go. Rentaro and I went into the hall, where Angie was standing with Kokichi, who still looked like he was in awful shape, but seemed to be trying to keep it together. Kokichi, are you alright?
All right. Don't worry about that, Kaede. You think just because Chihiro's dead that I'm weak? Don't you see? We have to find out who did this. Or do you want that death to be in vain? Huh? Do you?
Kokichi was smiling, but it was a kind of terrifying grin that made me shudder. The old Kokichi's back! Okay. Could you tell me where you were the past few hours?
Let me think. Oh, I was in my room, you see. And that's all I did until the discovery.
Did you see anyone on the way here?
No. Cool.
Why not? Are you blind?
What do you mean, why not? There was no one there. Because I took my time getting here. Duh. And that's my alibi. Thoughts? Nothing. We're just going to take the truth bullet and get out of here.
That's interesting.
Oh, what? Do you think I did it?
What? No, I didn't say that. I just...
You were thinking it. I can tell. I can tell everything you're thinking all the time. Well, with an attitude like that, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to be suspicious of everyone, Kaede. What would Shuichi think if he knew you were this bad at detective work? That's right, I was overhearing your conversation with him in your room the other day. I bugged everyone's rooms because I'm Kokichi-oma.
Kokichi, that was uncalled for.
The Kokichi police is back. So I was lying to the entire group. So was lying to the entire group about your talent. But that didn't stop you now, did it?
Enough, you.
No, I'm taking out my anger on everyone.
Kaede, hey, don't give him the time of day right now.
I'm not closed.
Rentaro pulled me aside before things could escalate, and I took a deep breath. He's right. We can deal with Kokichi later. Right now, we have to investigate before time's up. Angie, how about you?
Well, I was in the kitchen the whole time. Unfortunately, I do not have much to report. I was simply in my room, sketching to pass the time.
That's right. You carry art supplies on you, don't you?
Yes, I have a full palette on my belt. Correct. As soon as I heard the announcement... Z? What? Now she's French? No. As soon as I heard the announcement, I rushed right out and went straight to the noise in the dining hall.
Did you see anyone on the way?
Nope. Me neither. And you were suspicious of me for that, but not her, are you?
I see. That makes sense given everything else I've heard so far. Thanks, Angie.
Really? Really? She saw nobody either, and then that makes sense. Really, Kaede.
A pleasure to be of help, Kaede.
Oh, I'm so upset. I'm doubly upset. My only friend died, and then you suspect me for the murder.
I pulled Rentaro aside to go over the information we just gathered. So, let me get this straight. The Anabuki and Mondo had heard my scream from the hall by the bathrooms and ran over. The body discovery went off, alerting you, Angie, Kibo, and Kokichi, who followed that noise to the dining hall.
Sounds right to me.
But who did the murder?
Well, what about you?
That means me, you, Kibo, Kokichi, and Angie don't have alibis for the murder, though.
That's true. We should keep a note of that.
Well, that's everyone's testimony, and we've investigated the whole crime scene. What should we...
Whoa, that was fast. Jeez, we're only 22 minutes into the video.
Ahem, time's up, everyone. Report to the elevator immediately for the class trial. Oh, no.
I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video as well. Did I pause? I did. I did not pause. Okay. This video is 1 hour it's 2 seconds off an hour and 50 minutes. So I'm probably going to go either 50 minutes or an hour. We'll see which one works better for stopping.
Rentaro and I went to the elevator where everyone else soon gathered.
So you got at least 30 minutes left.
Angie, Kokichi, did you even get to investigate?
Nope.
I'm afraid not. I simply read the Monokuma file, but I was not granted the time to enter the crime scene.
I didn't even read that stupid file. The rest of you are so dumb. It'll probably I'll still probably end up solving all of this before you.
Remember, Kaede, don't let him get to you. Stay focused on the case, and we can handle him later. I'll put him in jail.
Right. You're right. We got this. We should note neither of them saw the body.
Agreed.
Oh boy, that's gonna be... Maybe it is Angie then, if that's gonna be important. Because I just don't think it'll be Kokichi. Although this is Chapter 5. This is sometimes where the antagonists die. I don't know. Oh, we got 2 bullets.
Well, here we go. With a shaky breath, I stepped into the elevator. Chihiro Fujisaki, one of the kindest souls I've ever met. He'd grown up so much over the course of this game, I can't let that be in vain. So I promise, Chihiro, I'll find the truth, no matter what it takes.
Alright. We'll see about that.
Ahem, let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial.
Oh, excellent. Sure do love this part of the game. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it feels like it should be Angie. And we'll see. Who else could it even be? If Angie wasn't so suspicious, I would say it should be someone from Danganronpa 1, given they used Leon's knife, and they probably did that to try to frame Leon, maybe? We'll see.
Okay, I think to get to the bottom of this case, we should split it into 2 parts. Alibis, then evidence.
Alright, that should work. Which one should we start with?
Miu's got 7 X's.
Evidence. That way we can compare it to people's alibis, and see if we can narrow down suspects that way.
Okay, let's do it. So, Chihiro was stabbed. A lot.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea what the murder weapon could have been?
Well, there was something at the crime scene that could have stabbed Chihiro, right, Kaede?
I wonder what that could be. The knife. The duct tape.
Yes, that's right. The killer stabbed Chihiro with duct tape. There was a knife in the kitchen by Chihiro's body.
I see. Someone could have used that to attack him.
I mean, yeah, there were a bunch of stabs in his chest, weren't there? Yeah, a lot of them. So what you're saying is, someone was with Chihiro in the kitchen and attacked him with the knife. That would make sense.
So, if we've got this right, this is what could have happened.
Oh, here we go. Lack of tape.
Chihiro was in the kitchen with someone when they decided to attack him.
They grabbed the kitchen knife from the rack to use as a weapon. Chihiro was pretty small. I don't think it would have been hard to overpower him. So they held him by the wall and stabbed him in the chest.
After that, he slid down the wall and... No, there's something wrong with this story, and I have the proof to show it to them.
I honestly don't remember what the bullets were. It's stab wounds, the duct tape, and something else? What would it be? Oh, right, the killing blow is the neck? The bloodstain on the wall. Whoa, what the heck was that?
Not quite, Leon. There's a big bloodstain on the kitchen wall behind Chihiro's body.
Yeah, so? I said they pushed him against the wall, right? Pretty sure I said that.
So, if Chihiro was stabbed from the front, there'd be more blood on his chest than the wall behind him.
It's more likely Chihiro was stabbed from the back and slid down the wall afterwards to leave that stain.
What? So someone was standing behind Chihiro, stabbed him like 15 times, and then threw him against the back wall? Because they'd have to be in between Chihiro and the wall, right? So they should be covered in blood, right? I don't know.
Someone stabbed Chihiro in the back instead of the front. What the fuck does that prove? Hang on. If Chihiro was stabbed in the back, why did we see wounds on his chest?
The knife went all the way through, we know that.
Because when Kaede and I examined the body, we found that those wounds went all the way through him back to front.
Oh my, how gruesome.
Well, then how the hell does a kitchen knife make wounds like that?
It's simple. It didn't.
Alright, well, then what did, Kaede?
The fuck you mean it didn't? Didn't we just say the knife was the weapon? We said it could be.
Why is he so smug? This guy's having like a emotional breakdown. He's like,
Yeah, I gotcha. But Kaede, you're thinking what I'm thinking, aren't you?
a trap. A fork!
Chihiro was stabbed with a fork. That's why they're symmetrical. It was just a really big fork. I think Chihiro was stabbed by a trap.
What? A trap?
It's a trap! That's a meme, right? Sorry.
No way! That's totally overthinking this, ain't it?
What do you mean?
Yeah, a knife seems way simpler. Besides, we didn't see a trap that stabbed anyone, did we?
That doesn't make it impossible, dumbass. Don't tell me you haven't noticed the theme with the traps.
Who the fuck you calling a dumbass? And what's this about a theme?
They're all based on executions. I counted 2 from our game, and based on Leon's reaction to that baseball trap, it's safe to say I'm right. Well, does anyone remember an execution in their game where someone got stabbed?
Not in ours. Not that I saw many, but no.
True.
Wait, what about Mukuro?
Oh, how did she...
Same way Miyu just did, actually. She got speared for going against the bear. No, that doesn't add up. Spear wounds would be different. The ones on Chihiro were almost certainly done by blades.
Right. Does anyone have an execution that fits that?
I don't know, Pekka's maybe?
Actually, there was this one in mine. Really?
It must be, right then? Pekka's?
My friend Pekko, she was a swordswoman, so...
Ugh, yikes.
Okay.
Wow, thanks for your condolences, Leon.
So it'd actually make a lot of sense. The wounds would look somewhat similar to that of a knife, after all. The swords would be long enough to leave wounds all the way through, like you mentioned earlier.
I see. So what likely happened was that the swords came out of the wall, and Chihiro was skewered on them.
Yeah, that's my guess. And it lines up with the bloodstains on the wall, too.
Stop looking so smug.
Oh, I get it. The sword stabbed him in the back, and when they retracted, he stumbled back into the wall and slid down it.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
But there wasn't a trap there.
I don't know about this. Yeah, it makes sense, sure. But how can you really prove it was a trap?
I'm sure gonna try. Rentaro?
You guys stop looking so smug over there, God. I'm with you, Kaede.
Oh boy, a split opinion already. I guess it's time again. Get ready for a scrum debate.
Is it really that split? I mean, there's 2 on either side. I guess, you know. We'll see where the others end up. Wait, did the cutscene play like that every time? With the V3 characters in it? And I never even noticed. Oh well. What caused Chihiro's chest wounds?
It was a knife.
Wait, Ibuki, weren't you the one who told us about the swords? Whoa, editing. It was a trap. Okay, Angie's on our side. I don't know how I would know that.
Why didn't we find the trap when investigating in the kitchen? Because the traps deactivate after a murder, remember?
Was that a factor? Okay.
Doesn't Angie cook in the kitchen, though? Shouldn't she have known it was there?
Awesome.
Rentaro. Angie, it's likely the trap wasn't in the spot I usually cook. We found the no tape during the investigation. How could there be a trap then? I'll do it. Just because it wasn't marked with tape doesn't mean it wasn't there.
But you said that the stabs looked like blade wounds, right? So why couldn't it have been the knife?
Rentaro.
A knife wouldn't leave uniform wounds all the way through the body, though. Then why was there a knife by the body anyway?
Okichi,
If Chihiro was planning on cooking, it makes sense he had a knife nearby.
Then how would it get by the body?
I'll do it. We already theorized Chihiro probably stumbled and hit the wall. It could have easily fallen off the counter and landed on the body.
But it's covered in blood.
But if Chihiro set off a trap, why are we in a trial? Monokuma said deaths by traps wouldn't count as murder.
However, Monokuma also said it could count if someone else caused Chihiro to die by that trap, correct? And how would that happen?
There's a number of ways it could happen. It wouldn't have been hard for someone to push Chihiro and set it off. Whoa! Nice editing. 10 out of 10. That might have sounded sarcastic, but I meant it. It's funny how much more dynamic a scene can be with just, like, slightly moving elements, right? Anyway.
I guess when you put it that way, a trap does make the most sense. Yeah, it also explains one other thing that disproves the stab theory.
What about the neck wound?
Huh? Oh, what's that? If Chihiro was stabbed with a knife, a close-range weapon, there's something the killer would have had to deal with.
Bloody clothes. That's what I was talking about earlier.
I get it. And Taro, you mean the fact the killer would have had blood on their clothes, right?
Exactly. If they stabbed Chihiro that many times with a knife, they would have gotten blood all over them. Even their shoes, probably. But at the crime scene, there was no sign of bloody footprints. And no one had blood on them when we met up in the dining hall after the body discovery.
But what if the killer changed clothes in their room? I'll admit, that may have been possible. But the lack of footprints combined with all the other evidence we've discussed,
and the fact that the death and the thing happened so close together,
is enough to confirm the knife wasn't used for the chest wounds.
Alright, I'm convinced. Yeah, same here.
These two being in it together kind of makes me worried that maybe they both saw it. Anyway.
Alright then. I think that covers everything we can do with evidence for now. At least that we can prove.
That means we should move on to alibis. So someone was with Chihiro in the kitchen and caused him to set off a trap. That's what we're going with?
It's the most plausible theory right now, yeah.
So, that makes our goal to figure out who could have been in there with them. Then let's discuss.
Woo! Discussion! Yeah! Alright. It's time to go. Alright, who here actually was with someone in the past few hours?
I wasn't.
Neither was I.
Koichi, how about you?
Nope.
So, any of us could have done it.
Kibo, you were... was Kibo there? I don't know. I don't even remember.
About that.
You need to point out the fact that a few people do have alibis for the time of the crime.
If we just let Leon speak for another sentence, it would be solved. Alright. What's going on here? I'm not a fan of not being in the trial as much as I should be, I think.
But you've had a good number of lines.
About as much as I have, and I think I'm the culprit. Yes, well, this is very important to me.
You're lucky you get lines at all. Try looking at me.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you keep the entire cast for half the game, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Oh, gosh. That one got pretty dicey there for a sec.
No, there's a handful of people who actually have alibis for the case. Isn't that right, Leon?
Yeah, like I was about to say.
Yes, what is it?
Right, thanks, Kaede. Mondo, Buki, and I were all together for a while before the murder.
Yep, I had to go to the bathroom.
Thanks for announcing.
We heard Kaede scream and rushed over, setting off the body discovery announcement.
How long were you together? Leon and I were together after breakfast, and Ibuki joined up about 20 minutes before the body discovery.
See? There's no way any of them could have...
My turn! I get to talk now!
Actually, it's my turn.
What?
Huh? What's wrong, Kibo? Why do you look so excited to shoot down my argument?
I love shooting down arguments. I'm sorry, Kaede, but I believe there is another possibility we are overlooking. They all were in it together.
Really? What is it?
I don't trust anyone from a game that isn't V3.
I don't know what it's going to be.
If Mondo and Leon were together since breakfast, then that means they are in the clear. However, Ibuki only joined them 20 minutes before the body discovery. That means she doesn't have an alibi before then.
I mean, true.
She could have killed Chihiro, then went to hang out with Mondo and Leon.
Reasoning makes sense, but there's something that proves 20 minutes of an alibi is far more than enough to confirm your innocence.
It's the Monokuma file, actually, which is crazy. I wish I would have went back and read that more carefully. Because I was trying to figure out if it was saying, like, Chihiro died 3 minutes ago or whatever, or Chihiro was stabbed 3 minutes ago. Definitely, absolutely. Oh boy, we're almost closing in on the 15-minute mark already. Goodness gracious.
Oh, cut your words!
Why are you getting mad at me for taking pleasure in shooting down your argument when you do that all the time?
You're right, Kibo. Ibuki doesn't have an alibi for long, but it's long enough to prove she couldn't have killed Chihiro.
Really? How? That does not compute.
The Monokuma file said Chihiro died a few minutes before the body was discovered.
Yes, but... Are we gonna get there?
That means even if Ibuki was only with Mondo and Leon for 20 minutes beforehand, she couldn't have committed the crime, since it happened during that time frame.
Well, I do have one more question then.
Ah, what? Yeah, what?
What if it took Chihiro a while to die after being stabbed?
That's what I'm saying.
With that many wounds, no way it could have lasted almost 20 minutes. Oh, I see. My apologies, Ibuki.
Okay, maybe not 20 minutes, but it could have lasted a little longer. I don't know.
It's okay. I just wanted to try. I know you just wanted to try to help solve the case.
So we can remove Leon, Mondo, and Ibuki as suspects. How wonderful! So, who's next for an examination? Kaede? You found the body, did you not?
Uh-oh, I knew this was coming. Yeah. Why?
You know why? We established the time of death was just before the discovery, correct? What if Kaede committed the crime and then alerted the trio so not to seem suspicious?
Would Kaede really do that?
Oh, shut up, Kibo.
No, I didn't. Man, if I expected anyone to be on my ass, it'd be Kokichi, not you.
Well then, can you provide an alibi to disprove my theory? It's time for a libel.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, but speaking of alibis and shit, there's someone else I'm kind of suspicious of too, Angie.
Really? Why didn't you tell us about that then?
Good old Kaede.
Oh boy, I don't know how to deal with pressure.
You should be glad I'm pressuring you now instead of later, when the time is almost up and everyone will die. Yes, Mondo? Pray tell, what is this suspicion? Pray tell, get it? Yeah, come on, tell us!
Well, I don't really want to say it, but...
Looking right at Leon.
Rentaro, you sure got to the scene fast. You got an explanation for that?
Okay.
I was in the storage room when the announcement played.
Oh, I get it. And the storage room is closer to the dining hall than the dorms.
So it makes sense he got there first. Alright, but can anyone actually prove you were in the storage room?
Oh boy. Yeah, I think it's time for a lie.
Well...
No, we can't. But there is a way to take suspicion off of both myself and Rantaro. I just hope I can pull it off.
I'm feeling very sassy today, so you better have done well in your lie training. This is why we had lie training, so that we could successfully pull off this lie. Also, the fact that Kokichi isn't really in his right mind is another good reason why Kokichi won't be able to tell. I'm a human lie detector. But you know, lie detectors are fallible and all of that. They're actually pretty terrible at detecting lies. They only detect if you're sweating a lot. And also heart rate or whatever, but mostly the sweat. So someone like, I don't know... Oh, who could I even say? Gundam with his giant scarf all the time would sweat a ton, and yeah, everything he says would be like a lie. And also maybe he forgot his name, and then he'd get all nervous, and... By the way, this is completely stupid. But, if you ever... Why would I say this? If you ever need to fool a lie detection test, the easiest way to get the results thrown out is to act really to feel really nervous about, like, saying your name and stuff. It's way easier to get the results thrown out that way than to get the results thrown out by acting cool and collected. Anyway, just a fun fact. Lack of alibis, too. No lack of alibis.
I'm not lying. Don't look at my sweat on my brow.
Right, if Kaede sweat during the lie detector test.
Time for us to use what we learned earlier.
Yeah, there we go.
No, that's wrong. Rantaro does have an alibi.
I do? What? Really? And what is it?
He was with me a good while before the murder. I was in the storage room with him for a while, so I can prove he was in there.
You didn't discover the body? But didn't you discover the body?
Yeah, I went to the kitchen to get a snack for us, since we were getting hungry. That's when it happened.
Rentaro, is this true?
Come on, Taro. Don't let me down. I trust you didn't do this, so please, trust I didn't either.
It sure is.
Phew!
Kaede, why did you sigh?
Nothing. My face didn't show it, but internally, I let out a huge sigh of relief.
Whew! Okay.
I see. So if Kaede, Rentaro, Leon, Ibuki, and I are clear, who's left? I think Kibo, Anji, and Kokichi, right?
The sussy bakos.
Don't you have a solid alibi?
No. I'm sorry.
Sadly, not. You don't even have to ask me. Nope, not at all. It's been a while since he's used that spray, too. You can tell he's in full deflection mode.
Oh, now what? How do we find out who did it?
To do that, we need to figure out a couple other things first.
Like what?
Who Chihiro was in the kitchen with, and why they were there in the first place. Oh, I see! I think I have an idea, Kaede!
I got a theory, too.
A mass panic debate, but I'll save it for next episode.
I also have an idea!
Oh boy. I'll leave this for next time. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe and, I don't know, do everything else. Maybe leave a comment. I don't know what you'd comment on. I guess who you think did it. But if you know who did it, don't say who did it, because I don't want to be spoiled. If you spoil me, then the game is ruined.
Yeah. Don't do it.
I don't know. I don't know what she said. I'm kind of wondering. I'm trying to think, like, how will this final trial play out with so many people in it? Is it... Okay, for one, we haven't talked about the fact that Chihiro had their necks slit. We haven't talked about that at all, which... It's even on their, like, portrait. Like, I noticed that. You've got the numbers, like, the binary over top of them, and then you've got, like, the X over their neck. So, like, nobody's mentioned that yet, which I find hilarious. I don't think it can be Kokichi. I really don't think so. Unless Kokichi did it to put Chihiro out of his misery or something, because he was bleeding out all over the floor. But you think, you know, you would see some of that. So it's really between Angie and Kibo. And why the hell would Kibo do it at this point? You know what I mean? Like, if Kibo was going to kill, it would have been last chapter to try to kill the mastermind. Or the traitor, rather. I could have totally seen that. But Kibo killing at this point, and killing Chihiro of all people? I don't know about that. The only other reason I can see someone killing who isn't Angie, who clearly, like, set up a bunch of flags about being evil by being like, oh, I think you should never make friends ever. Other than Angie, the only other reason I can think of someone would kill is because someone did get stuck in a trap, but it was like a slow trap where there was a chance to save them, and so they pushed Chihiro into the sword trap in order to deactivate the traps by a murder occurring. But if that was the case, they would have to be somewhere, like, there'd have to be another trap somewhere near the kitchen for that to be something. And they'd have to have prior knowledge that there was the sword trap in the kitchen, which, after all of that, it's still just Angie, right? Angie was the only one who went in the kitchen since the traps happened, as far as I remember. I guess I could be wrong, but anyway, I will see you guys soon. I think maybe, hopefully, if things go well, the Deltarune video will be the next one up. It's a pretty fun little theory, somewhat based on the Spamton sweepstakes stuff. So I hope you'll enjoy. By the way, I've made like... How many concepts did I have for Deltarune theories? I had a good number of them, especially after Chapter 2 came out. Because this is completely unrelated. But Chapter 1 of Deltarune was like, okay. But I was like, kind of feels like a watered-down version of Undertale, really. But Chapter 2, I was like, okay, now I'm on board. So that's where a lot of my inspiration for stuff like that came from. I was going to do one analyzing everyone's ability to be the knight, but someone else did that, thankfully, in that video. That person's video, who is Jaru J on YouTube, ended up being like, I don't know, 2 hours long or something. I can't remember correctly. They went over Darkners too, which I wasn't going to do, but that would have been a nightmare for me. And then what else was I going to do? Oh, right. I might still do this on who I think the knight actually is. Because there's some pretty good evidence, I think, that I haven't seen a lot of people bring up. The one I'm actually going to be trying to post for Monday is a theory on how Darkners are created when a Dark Fountain happens. Because the Spamton sweepstakes gave us a bunch of lore about Spamton, obviously, and Noelle. And I think it adds some pretty good credence into the theory I was having. So yeah, if you want to see that, I guess you can see it. Okay, I'm going to leave you now. I didn't say goodbye. God damn it. Goodbye!